Welcome into the Las Vegas Review-Journal studio. Leandre Fox here. Thank you so much for joining us, and thank you for tuning in to our Vegas Nation NFL Draft Wrap-Up Show, sponsored by Virgin Hotels Las Vegas, your destination resort for football fans in Las Vegas. The 2022 NFL Draft has come to an end. This is the first under the regime of head coach Josh McDaniels and GM Dave Ziegler for the Raiders. Obviously, a massive offseason for the team, who acquired talent like Devontae Adams and Chandler Jones, signed Derek Carr and Max Crosby to extensions, and now have completed their first draft in Las Vegas, bringing in some young, talented players to the roster. For more from the Raiders, we will send it out to Heidi Fang, who is standing by at Raiders HQ.
It's Heidi Fang and Vinny Bonsignor, our Raiders beat writer, here at Raiders headquarters, where the NFL Draft 2022 has finally wrapped up. It is in the books for the Raiders and Josh McDaniels and Dave Ziegler. We're going to get you all caught up here. First, Vinny, lots of action happened with the Raiders, lots of little trades made, things done to get the guy that they wanted. First one that they moved up for was Zamir White, a running back. Great story there, Vinny.
Yeah, has overcome a lot. I mean, this is somebody that, not to get into bad news, but doctors didn't think was even going to make it through pregnancy, let alone survive after his birth. But obviously he did. He's a fighter. He's overcome tremendous odds and obstacles to get to this point in his life. And I think he's going to be somebody that Raider fans are going to easily embrace, because not only does he have an inspiring story, but this guy's a really good football player. And I think he's going to show that really early in his career with the Raiders.
Let's take a look at all of the names here that the Raiders have drafted, with Dylan Parham, then Zamir White, Neil Farrell, Matthew Butler, Thayer Munford, and Britton Brown. Pairs of each of these, so pairs of offensive linemen, pairs of defensive tackles, pairs of running backs. What do you make of the overall haul that they had, and who really stands out for you?
A lot of size, a lot of girth, a lot of weight, a lot of height. You win games in the NFL in the trenches. The Raiders had a need along the offensive line and in the defensive line, especially with how the roster was put together and some of the one-year contracts that a bunch of defensive linemen were under last year and continue to be this year. So it's not just about this year, although I think the two defensive linemen will come in immediately for at least rotational roles and maybe down the line be the starters there. But when you look beyond just this year and where guys are with their contracts, a lot of roster spots to fill in 2023. So what you do is you draft as many good players as possible, maybe with the thinking that, hey, a rotational position or spot this year would be great. But even if not, if they're ready to step into bigger roles next year in 2023, that's the ideal situation.
And now we'll hear from both Josh McDaniels and Dave Ziegler as they reflect on what happened for them here with the Raiders organization in the 2022 NFL Draft.
Look, every spot on our team's going to have competition. Whether we drafted somebody or didn't draft somebody, there's competition at every spot on the team. I don't care what the spot is, and that's what we've tried to do that, in each spot that we could. Free agency, draft, we'll continue to try to do that. Dave and his staff are going to comb the college free agent thing. We're going to go into, the summer, and we're still going to try to do that. So that won't ever stop.
At the end of the day, we didn't go in and set out a plan and say, hey, we're going to draft interior linemen and interior, offensive linemen and power running backs. That's how it kind of came together. Those were the players that were there. Those are the players that we felt fit the system, and then we selected them.
I waited my whole life for this moment right here. So this really means the world to me. What do I add? Just a great guy. A guy that's gonna come in and work hard every single day. On every rep inside the film room, in the weight room.
To be honest with you, it was so much emotion going through here, my friend. I don't even remember the call, but I'm happy as heck to be a Raider, man. I'm ready to get there and put in some work. I love the Raiders organization. I like what they got going, the pieces they added. I'm just excited for the opportunity and blessed to be there.
My heart stopped a little bit. I was thankful before I even took the call, and they just let me know that they had admired my play, how I carried myself, my leadership, and what I had brought to Tennessee, both on and off the field. And they hope and expect that I bring that same thing to Las Vegas. It's one thing that I want to bring to my game, my rookie year, and obviously going forth into my career, it's more refinement and polish with the same violence, aggression, and effort that I've always played with.
It's still a blessing just to be a part of this organization. I'm still like starstruck about this, for real. I told him, like, if you need me to play right tackle, right guard, left guard, left tackle, I'll play those positions. And I told him, like, I want to win. I want to help this team win.
It was surreal. I don't think it's hit me yet. It's been a dream of mine for as long as I can remember. I've been playing football since I was 5 years old, and just having the whole family here and everybody supporting me, it made the moment that much more sweeter. So, and the Raiders are a great organization, and being able to go to their pro day and work with Coach Polamalu for the running back coach was amazing. And I'm glad the work I put in with them allowed them to believe in me and pick me.
Cassie Soto and Adam Hill here as the 2022 NFL Draft in Las Vegas has come to an end. And Adam, we are seeing early projections that 300,000 fans were in attendance for this year's draft. If you just had to say it in a couple of words, Adam, how do you think Las Vegas did hosting this year's draft?
Oh, it was obviously great. I mean, they incorporated the city into the entire landscape of the footprint of the draft, you know, over the Bellagio fountains here at Caesars Forum with the incredible stage outside, the NFL Draft experience. And you really got a feel for Las Vegas. Tourists all over the place walking around. Locals, we saw a lot of people here from Las Vegas down here enjoying it as well. And yeah, we know how to do events. Like, you have to close down the strip, okay, we'll do that. You have to, you know, figure out how to reroute roads, we'll do that. And I think the city came together, as we always do for big events, and the NFL certainly enjoyed it here, and I think there's going to be a lot more NFL events here in the future.
Well, you mentioned locals, but unfortunately no UNLV players drafted this year, Adam. I feel like we've said that a couple of times before, but some Nevada guys were picked up. We have Romeo Doubs and Cole Turner were drafted. We were waiting for Carson Strong, quarterback Carson Strong, but he didn't get picked up. I'm sure he'll be an undrafted free agent somewhere. But how about those Nevada players getting an opportunity to have their dreams come true?
Yeah, for sure. And Romeo Doubs, really interesting situation for him because the Packers were expected to use both their first-round picks on wide receivers. They didn't, but they did get one in Christian Watson, and then later on get Romeo Doubs. I think he's going to have a chance to step in there and play with a pretty good quarterback up there in Green Bay and not a whole lot of options at wide receiver. He'll probably get some playing time. Cole Turner, really productive guy who's tight end. The Commanders have used a lot of tight ends in the past. Good news for him. And it sounds like Carson Strong is going to land in Philadelphia, which is very interesting because they have Jalen Hurts. Not necessarily sold on him as the long-term answer. Maybe Carson Strong steps in and gets some playing time. It sounds like Carson Strong had some medicals flare up. There was a knee issue. Might have been a little bit more serious than we knew. Teams maybe decided to pass on him, but he does sign in Philadelphia, and that's a good chance for him.
Let me get your final thoughts here on the 2022 NFL Draft. Were there any picks that surprised you? Anything that really stood out from this year's draft?
I think it's the quarterbacks, the value of quarterbacks for sure. This class wasn't very impressive, I guess, but a lot of guys were picked later on in the draft, but not really many high picks except for Kenny Pickett to Pittsburgh. Wide receivers, we knew coming in, the value has skyrocketed, and we saw that in this draft. People picking wide receivers all over the place, trading up for them. That was a big storyline as well.
All right, well, that'll do it for us here from the 2022 NFL Draft. Adam Hill and Cassie Soto.
The NFL Draft isn't just for the players, but for the fans as well here at the NFL Experience. Running the 40 and catching a little pigskin like I'm about to right here. Go for it. All right, hold on. I got it.
But it wasn't just me running the activities. There were fans like David Robinson from Houston, Texas, who spoke to us after beating his brother in the 40-yard dash.
It's really fun to be able to beat my brothers in a 40-yard race. I beat them on the throwing the ball. It's all good. Here for my birthday.
Another group of runners was that of a father and son duo from Las Vegas.
Oh, that's all he wants to do. When we get here, we got to race. Me and you, Dad, we got to race. It's his idea.
Outside of merchandise and autograph signings, the draft experience offered everything in the shadow of the Strip.
If you missed out this year here in Las Vegas, don't worry at all. We will catch you in Kansas City next year. But for the time being, I got to get ready to face this guy. Ready?
Ready, set, go!
For the Las Vegas Review Journal, I'm James Schaefer.
And that is a wrap. Thank you so much for tuning in to our Vegas Nation NFL Draft Wrap-Up Show, sponsored by Virgin Hotels Las Vegas, your destination resort for football fans in Las Vegas. And thank you so much for hanging out with us all weekend long. The fun isn't over, though, so be sure to tune in to VegasNation.com for updates on undrafted free agents as we prepare to head into rookie minicamps, OTAs, and training camp over the next few months. For the Vegas Nation crew, I'm Leandre Fox.